curious how far along you are right now in install compared to where you might want to be.
I'd say we've gotten to a good solid, over 50%, 60%. I think we've made a lot of progress in a short time. Blending new concepts with some of the old concepts that they did. Obviously, they were very, very good here on defense. So, we're using what we can and trying to keep things in similar terms for the players. But I'm happy with the progress. We've gotten a bunch of things in.
What's the experience been going against Kotelnicki's formations, some of them kind of creative?
Yeah, that's it's more than I've ever gone against in the spring, to be quite honest with you. And I try to tell that to the defensive guys that this helps us because our offense is so multiple and creative, and the formations and the different things that they do that are really challenging. So, when you put in a basic call, it has to be able to adjust against everything when you're going against Andy and our offense. And, it gives us a lot of, I'm not saying we're always right, but it gives us a lot of good tape to be able to watch this summer, with the players to teach.
Along those lines, he's like a very vocal, outgoing guy on the practice field. You seem a little bit more low-key. Can you take us through your approach? It seems like a lot of note-taking.
Yes,
that sort of
yes. I do a lot of observing. Particularly in my first spring here, really just observing the players, and I try to stand in the back and see how they operate. We're working hard on communication and getting guys to talk to each other. It seems a lot with this generation because they're always on their phones. They have a tough time actually talking to some people. So we're pushing that. And I stand in the back and I observe that, but really just trying to pick up on their strengths and weaknesses and what they grasp, and I try to stay out of the picture a lot in practice because, I've scripted it all, I've set it all up. So now I like to just kind of watch how it comes together. It gives me, a kind of a big picture feel as to how they're doing picking up the concepts.
What does that say about the level of confidence you have in the other defensive assistant coaches?
Yeah, it's a ton. I have a ton of confidence. I mean, just working with these guys for the first time, really good people and really good coaches. And a lot of Penn State grads and guys that are really invested in the program. And they've been great to me in terms of learning what I do and how I operate. And they've been very receptive to new concepts and things. And I just think we're growing with the staff.
What is the experience like for you to sit back and watch the defense that you kind of crafted come to fruition?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, for me, practice is like game day every day because you set these things up and, you do a lot of planning, and then a lot of times it's like controlled chaos on the field, so you kind of get to see where all the pieces are going to fit, and, particularly going against Andy, you kind of get to see the weaknesses, maybe the strengths of some of the things that I do. But we try to treat practice like a game. So every day is like a game day. We try to make it high pressure. I treat it the same way. I don't have a lot of fun.
I'm sorry. How much, if any, meshing have you kind of done with Andy in terms of, hey, I think maybe this can help you out, or this is what we're seeing when you guys are doing that? How much of that?
Andy and I have a really good relationship. I mean, it's good you bring that up because we do work together a lot in exchanging of ideas. Hey, this hurts us. Maybe like, boy, this is good. So we do talk a lot. Probably more than anywhere I've ever been.
Jim, not a lot of people have worked at both Penn State and Ohio State. You have. What's the biggest difference, do you think, between the two programs?
I'm really just going to keep it to Penn State, but my experience here has been a really well-run, high-quality program that Coach Franklin has, and a strong culture amongst the players and coaches. Really collaborative. He's a great communicator. It's always asking for everybody's opinion, getting input on things. He wants to know what you're thinking. So I've been very impressed with how the structure of the program and the culture of it.
You've seen what it takes to craft a national championship program. Would you say that this team has that it factor?
Yes. Next question.
How important is versatility to you on defense? Especially in the secondary. I'm thinking of in the slot.
Yes. In the slot. Really at the three safety positions, if you call our nickname safety. A lot of times it comes out of the corner. That versatility of those three guys and creating different structures in the back end in order to create some confusion or hesitation for the quarterbacks pick, so they all have to really know each other's jobs so that they can kind of replace each other and show up in different places.
And in all the observing you've done so far, do you get a feel for where some of the strengths of this defense might be?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I love the way we cover. You know, our corners are aggressive and talented, and I've been really impressed with that. You know, up front, I think there's a lot of depth and a lot of guys there. You know, that have, you know, and they're all kind of fighting for playing time. With Denai and Zane not having gone a whole lot, it's given guys a lot of chances. You know? So I haven't really even seen, you know, our top guys, but I like the depth there, and I like the way our guys aggressively cover in the secondary.
So,
Bit of an odd question. How do you feel like your experience on Wall Street maybe prepares you for coaching, and are there correlations between the two?
Yeah, you know, I wasn't in that arena very long, so I think it, you know, they're high pressure environments, but you know, I don't think I gave that my all because my mind was always on football. So I don't know if I got the quite total experience there.
Jim,
So-
to go back to that fifth defensive back position, who's standing out to you right now for that nickel spot? What are the kind of things you're asking from that spot that are different from either a safety or a corner?
Yeah, you know, Dinkins has really kind of showed up. He's flashed. He's picked things up, and then we've had Kenny Wolseley there lately. And Kenny kind of started slow this spring, but boy, he's really come on. Like I've noticed in the past few practices. So basically, what we ask out of that guy is everything. You know, he's got to be able to cover a man in the slot. He's got to be able to play all the zones. You know, from the flat to the curl to the half to the third to blitz. You know, and also play the middle of the field. So it's really got to be a versatile guy.
How do you
in
That
this
spot
anticipate?
is more mental than physical compared to other positions because of what you asked them to do?
Yeah, there's a lot of physical requirements, but you're right. I feel there is a bigger mental requirement. You know, you really need somebody who's going to buy into it. You know, a lot of guys have just been cover guys, and then they get in there and they start to get a taste for all different things, and they like it, and they also start to realize that their future, you know, is bright because they can do other things.
so
How are
in
those things
between,
playing out at linebacker with Rojas out, obviously some young kids are getting an opportunity. And on top of that, what have you seen from Dan Hunter as the coach of that position? A lot of great players don't become really good
Right.
coaches, but he's
Yeah,
somehow.
Dan is awesome. He's detailed. He is, you know, a reserved guy, but he has tremendous respect for the players because of his success and his commitment here to Penn State. And I feel like he gives them a lot of inside tips that most of us couldn't because he played the position and did it at a high level in the NFL. So I think he brings that. You know, he's young enough to relate to the players. He's extremely smart, and he has some like insider information on what to do for the players.
Are there guys
So-
standing out there for you at all?
I think Specca has really done well. You know, Specca has really moved in to an advanced role early, and he has shown to be a very instinctual and smart player. Keon Wiley has flashed to me. He kind of flashes. You know, that's what I call it, flashing. Guys kind of come across my screen, you know, when I'm making plays. So he's done that lately too. You know, Dom is
Two more
very
guys.
steady, very steady. He's the stalwart of the defense.
so in
We
between,
Go ahead, Joe.
Max, go ahead, Max.
We haven't seen Zion Tracy a whole lot, but last year he was a guy who started to flash in that nickel spot. Do you anticipate deploying him there, or do you think you could see him on the outside, or do you still need to see him?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it, but I know last year, you know, he had that experience, so, you know, that's where I want to see him come in and do it. I think I'm pretty secure that he can move back out. I mean, those guys can always move back out, you know, but I like to see if a guy's got a talent or a nature for that, I like to see what they can do at the nickel position.
In between getting the job and the start of spring practice, what did you see from Max Granville? And now that you've seen him on the field a little bit, what have your impressions been?
You know, I saw a really hard-working guy for a young guy. You know, a mature guy, and what I've seen on the field is just like he goes a mile a minute. You know, I think as a D lineman, that's huge. I mean, he plays hard every down. He comes off the ball hard every down. So, youth and size and all the things that you get maybe later in your career, he's making up for it right now just with aggression. That's what he's doing.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim.
Thanks, Jim.